Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide world-class education, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and we are here today with a brand new show. So this is our second episode, and we are thrilled to have you here. The title of our show is Elegance, Polished Demeanor, and Posh Living. And boy, do we have a program for you today. We have an incredible guest who's going to be joining us. Before we bring her out, let's welcome the star of our show. It's Zane Carruth. Hello, Zane. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing really well. It's so nice to see you. I'm thrilled that we're doing this show. The first episode, the pilot episode, went really well. What were your thoughts about it?
I was pleased. I thought it went smoothly. It transitioned from topic to topic. I walked away feeling happy, and I was relieved about that because I was nervous. But I think we did real well, and we had great views. We were the top #1 watched show that week, so that was fun.
That's right. We absolutely were. And as I mentioned, you brought a fabulous guest here today. Before we bring her out, though, tell us about your work as a certified etiquette and protocol professional. What is that?
Well, mainly what I do is I write articles. I will be contacted by a magazine, and they'll say, well, holidays are coming up, and we want you to write an article about how to send an RSVP, or tell children how they should act when they have house guests, or any number of things. A lot of times I'm always asked about how do you write thank you notes and how do you encourage children and motivate them. And that's always fun, but I prefer to write articles. I've been asked to teach, but to go into, schools and all that, but I'm just more comfortable writing than I am having a class to do that. There are people that do that much better than I can. But that's what I do.
Well, it's about knowing your strengths and following your passion. And of course, You are an award-winning author. You have an incredible children's series. And we're going to take a quick look at this sponsorship, and then we're going to bring out our guest.
Hi, my name is Zane Carruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Abella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the Tooth Fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Abella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Abella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
I just love that.
I haven't seen that in a long time. Al does such a good, his voice is perfect for something like that. That was fun to watch.
He is the voice of USA Global TV and radio.
Yes.
So, Zane, I'm super excited to bring out the Vintage Contessa. This woman has accomplished so much. She and her husband literally travel the world buying and selling authentic luxury items to really create an authentic luxury life experience. Let's welcome the Vintage Contessa. Hello.
Hi, guys. So excited to be here with you.
We're happy to have you.
We are thrilled to have you. Of course, you look phenomenal today. I love what you're wearing. You're well turned out, of course.
Your little Chanel pin.
Yes.
Love Chanel.
And I love to dress as part of my creativity and the way I express myself to people before I meet them. It's always a conversation starter. So that's something we have a lot of fun with in our store.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And so a question I have for you just first off is, we're talking about in the world sustainability, and the fashion industry is now starting to come on board with this. The work that you're doing is really giving rebirth and life to items from one person to the next. And I think it's so important. Tell us a little bit about the Vintage Contessa and Times Past.
Well, it comes from a passion, as I said, for fashion. I, as a young girl, always loved fashion, but was not in a place that I could buy luxury goods. And it started with my dad. We have a marble and granite company. He would travel to Italy buying, and he would bring back a Gucci bag for me and one for my mother. And it was my most treasured possession in my wardrobe. Then when I grew in our business and worked with him for 22 years, I started going on buying trips. And then I was able to finally buy some treasured pieces for myself. And then my friends started inviting me to buy for them. And what I saw was I have pieces that I maybe bought 30 years ago that still had a place in my closet. And now that I have a 16-year-old daughter, she's wanting to borrow them. So I see the value in buying something that's not disposable, that will be around. And then also we see a lot of people coming to our store whose financial position might change, or who maybe realize they don't want what they purchased, but it still has a value, and they're able to generate money for what they need, whether it's a health problem or even taking a trip. So buying pieces that have meaning and have value is further reaching even than sustainability.
Fantastic.
What is great about her store, I needed to buy something for my granddaughter, and I had promised her a Chanel bag. She was going through some bad times. What's nice is you can walk in the store and you can see the item. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can see the size. But a lot of times when you order these things, you can't. You get them and you love them or leave them. But it was a wonderful experience because everybody was so nice and people are just happy in there. It was a nice. You were somewhere around the world. You weren't there that day, but your staff took great care of me.
Well, I think that's a big part of it too, is we feel like we're a family, and it is a family business. I work with my husband, and the people that are there understand that it's not just about one experience. We're there for relationships, and we want to understand what people's needs are. And the other benefit of buying something pre-owned is that you're saving oftentimes on the value. Sometimes there's things we sell that you can't walk into a store and buy, so they might be priced at a little bit of a over retail price because they're not available. But almost everything we sell is at a value. And that's what we're really trying to help people, is feel comfortable that they've made a safe investment into something. Because there are, like so many people out there who are fakes, there are so many fake products out there too. And people are weary of buying online sometimes when they don't know who's selling the product.
Well, there's an art too, isn't there, to authenticating those products to make sure they are what we're looking for, what they say there are.
Absolutely. My husband started collecting coins when he was 6 years old, and he has a knack for really looking at the details and things. The man can't remember that on Tuesday the trash guy comes, but boy, he can remember the details for a watch that he's looking at authenticating, or even a handbag. And oftentimes it's not even as much about the product, but as the person selling it and the story they're telling. I think you can learn so much about the authenticity of a product just by what people tell you when they come and meet with you. So we also say that if you look at 1,000 apples and someone hands you an orange, you know it's not an apple. So that comes from real experience and being there and touching it and feeling it. And sometimes just holding it, you can tell the weight isn't right, or the stitching of a bag isn't right, or the weight of a Rolex watch isn't what it should be. And then so much of it goes into craftsmanship too. Things can certainly wear in time, but a Chanel bag wouldn't be stitched out of line, and a Rolex watch wouldn't have a crooked watch hand on it. So there are just some simple things that we implement, and we're starting to put together presentations that even teach other wholesalers about how they can authenticate so they too can pass on quality products to the people in their city.
And that comes from experience. Y'all have been doing this, since 2011? Or
so
your part?
Yes. So I started my part in 2011. I was over 40 years old. It was my second career. So I want to tell women out there that 40, I think, is the new, I'd even go so far as to say 20 now that I'm aging more. But I feel like as women, sometimes we're hesitant to branch out and start something new. And I had an opportunity that this was my side hustle, that I was buying these pieces for friends and family for so long. And finally, when it turned into something that I could leave my business and start this with my husband and expand our business together, it had a lot of value. And I think that's it too, is having a partner. Like I said, he's great about authenticity, and I like to be the one that presents it to the world and connects with the people and puts the pretty bow on it and lets people know how they can come and buy it. And we've had a lot of fun on our Instagram. You have followed us, Zane, and we come together. And as you say, on Wednesdays, we have Wacky Watch Wednesday, where we're wacky, not the watches. Yeah. And we try to educate. It's not just all about selling. It's about giving people knowledge and sometimes entertaining them in the process too.
Well, and you make them friends along the way.
We do. And we travel quite a bit. We're on a college tour with our daughter now, and every city we go to, we have friends with Sotheby's in New York, and we were meeting with some people in Philadelphia. And so we know people throughout the country, throughout the world. And it was a really difficult time when COVID hit and our ability to travel the world was changed, but it opened up a lot of opportunities. And I feel like we all miss that connection. So we found ways now through chat rooms of people that you can trust, that's controlled, that you can talk about products together and search for things. We're finding ways around, flying around the world, just like us today, getting together in all different cities and still being able to connect in a real way.
Yes.
Absolutely. The Vintage Contessa, I do have a question for you, because I think this is really important. I remember at some point in my life, people were coming around with these Louis Vuitton bags, and they were all fake. And people were buying them. They couldn't wait to get enough, or they're going to Canal Street in New York. But people don't realize that fakes, those knockoffs, have been made by someone. It could have been a child. It could be somebody who's working in conditions in another country, and they're deplorable. And investing money in fakes like that, it basically empowers the process to continue on. Is there anything that you can share with us about that?
It is. I feel like society is finally catching up with that, is being real and authentic matters to people now. I do agree. There's so many great charities out there, but I am so passionate about helping children that are abused. And that situation that you say about child labor in other countries is so true. I also really value craftsmanship. My grandfather was a shoe cobbler in Sicily and immigrated to the U.S. And with my family business being fabrication of marble, like, our work with our hands and what we do to craft things, that's something that we need to treasure. And it's not just about a logo when you buy something, it's about the craftsmanship that went into creating the piece. And I think we need to honor that almost as though it's a piece of art. And I'm glad that you bring that up, because I think we are in this place that it's frowned upon and it's not as accepted socially as it used to be.
Excellent. Thanks for clarifying that. And there's something to be said. Like I have in my studio here, I have a whole rack of clothes and wigs and things. And I have clothes that are literally from the 80s, or Armani. I mean, things that were at the time seemed to be a lot of money. They've endured the time. My body's changed. It doesn't look quite the same when it's on me, but it's lasted for all this time. And there's something to be said about buying something that's authentic, that's well made, and that will last from generation to generation.
Absolutely. I love the Paddock advertisement. It says you're not buying a Paddock, you're buying something for the future. You. I remember my first Hermes scarf I bought. Now I have it made into a pillow in my house. And I can't remember many things I bought in the 90s that I'm still using and still have a value. So I think that there's certainly place. I'm not one to wear all designer labels. I believe in balancing. You don't have to wear every luxury label to look fabulous. So I believe there's a place for high and low fashion, but I believe in being mindful of our choices when we're building a wardrobe and when we're investing in pieces. And there is a value in waiting to have something that really has meaning for you and working for it. And I find that that's one of the most exciting things in my life. I meet people sometimes in Houston that say, or even traveling the country, and they say, I'm saving up so I can come buy a Chanel bag from you one day. And I just love that. I love that they know that we are here for the community. We're here if you need to sell something. We're here to sell something to you at a value. And I think people are also really resonating with community now more than ever. And people buy from people. And that's why people are connecting to certain brands too, is they want to feel like they're a part of something. And I feel like that's what we're trying to show, is it isn't just about the products you wear, but it's about the whole lifestyle and how we all come together.
Well, that is so true, because people, they're not avoiding the big box stores, but if they can support a small business, I think hands down, 9 times out of 10, people will do that. If it's within their reach and their scope and they can get there, they will do that, because I think people do realize the value in that, especially like what you said. You got your craft from your grandfather. That's remarkable. I didn't know that about you.
Yes, and we had a great experience pre-COVID. We went back to Sicily, to the town that my grandparents immigrated from, and I have chills saying it. We met with a man that was a historian, and this little town in Sicily called Poggioreale was affected by an earthquake, but they had the documents from the town, and he showed me where my grandparents were married. My grandmother was 18, and I believe my grandfather was 19, and they signed with an X because they couldn't even write. And I thought, how amazing that they took the courage. They traveled on a cattle boat. My dad says my grandmother would tell him about the smell of the manure, but they traveled on this boat with animals to a country they didn't know, to a place they didn't speak the language, for an opportunity. And I think it's amazing that I live in a country that I could change careers at 40. I could find success, that I could find a way. And I think Houston is an incredible place for that. But I think it's amazing the opportunities we have to work around the world. I mean, we fly to Europe to do business. We fly to Asia to do business. It's really, we're very blessed to have been born the place and the time we're here.
Yeah, that gives me chills. That's incredible. I love that story that you actually saw where they got married and you talked to someone from that town. That's real value, in my opinion.
Well, and I think too, it used to be that my family got together every week on Sunday. So all the cousins and all the relatives. Now so many people move to so many different places that I think this 21andMe, where you're going back to find your heritage, I think people are really connected to heritage. And I think that's part of what people are connected to in these long running brands like Hermes or Chanel, or they like this heritage of something lasting, and they like connecting to that. We want to know where we've come from, and we want to know how far we've gone. And sometimes these pieces commemorate those milestones for us. I know that we're so excited to sell someone a Rolex watch to give their child for a graduation or a 40th birthday or something like that. That's really meaningful. And it's great to celebrate those milestones with people.
Absolutely. The Vintage Contessa, I'd love for you to share with us how your process works. We actually have your website, which we can certainly pull up. But for people who are out there, they're thinking, wow, I'd love to buy and sell, and I'm in this part of the world and somebody else is in that part of the world. How does it work?
So to buy from us, we are officially posting all of our handbags online, and we're in the process of adding our watches. But most of what we do is we have a showroom in Houston. You could set an appointment to come in and meet with us. Not that it's terribly difficult to get an appointment, but because we're all about relationships, we want to know that when you come in, we're ready to pay attention to you and take care of your needs. Then if you live in another city, we often do remote video calls. But people follow us on Instagram, and we post a lot on our stories, and we pull things out. We had an amazing collection of Hermes we bought a week ago, and we have our most viewed video with 45,000 people looking at it, telling people we'd be unveiling the pieces. I thought it was so interesting. People were more excited to not see what we bought than to even see what we bought. But we've kind of rolled all of those out. And then if you want to sell something, there's a link on our website where you can download the photographs for us and send the information. And oftentimes, because we have contacts in cities around the world, we can connect you with someone in that city, or we can work to have the item shipped to us. And then oftentimes we're traveling around the country, and we can work to meet you if it's a location that we go to often.
You sure make it easy. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's so streamlined. Let's take a look at your website so people know exactly where to find you. Okay, so here we go. And if you just want to walk us through where we should go here.
Yes. So there's a button where you can shop. I believe there's a button that you can sell. And there's also where we talk about how we authenticate. We talk about how we reach people. And there also we share our podcast. Zane was an incredible podcast guest. And I think that's one of the things that sets my soul on fire the most, is hearing other people's stories about what makes them come alive and sharing those. And then we go through each of the individual products we buy and sell. Handbags are my personal favorite, but I certainly have grown to love watches. We have great jewelry pieces, a lot from designers, Cartier, Van Cleef & Arpels, and amazing diamonds. And then that last fun picture of me jumping on the bed is we can be your personal shopper. Is because we're traveling and we have so many contacts. If we don't have it in stock, we can oftentimes find it for you. And we offer that service for our clients too.
I'm drooling over here, by the way.
I have to tell you, when we do these photo shoots, and I'm like, that was actually me in a bathtub with a gown, an amazing Alexander McQueen gown. I was collaborating with Saks Fifth Avenue. I just have to pinch myself and say, I can't believe I get to live this life. It's really amazing. And I want people to know not everybody can choose to be in a bathtub holding diamonds and an amazing gown. But if you work hard for what you want and you stay focused, I believe that there's a real opportunity that you can live your best life and get what you want.
Well, I agree with you. One is identifying what you really want, and then just sticking with it. You have to have no quit in you. You really do.
Sometimes it's just about showing up every day after day consistently and letting people know that you're there for them. And I think that's the thing is I'm not always complete. I'm very off the cuff. Our videos are off the cuff. We work with a great team that makes production videos, but I find that people like knowing that you are imperfect and you're real and we're all in this journey together and we're hustling and doing the best we can. And we have a great team that enables us to travel and leave, and great people around the world that we work with. So it's a pretty amazing moment. I have to pinch myself a lot.
The Vintage Contessa, I love what you shared about the work that you're doing. And I know that you're also passionate and committed to a certain cause. Would you like to share more with our audience about that?
Yes, I have been so connected to helping women and children who've been through trauma. And I've become more laser focused on helping women, children, and even young boys that have been sex trafficked. Unfortunately, Houston, Texas is the #1 place for traffic victims in the country. A big part of it is that our port is so big. We're a big thoroughfare through Mexico. And there's cantinas there. There's brothels that look like nail salon, massage parlors. And we've come together. The group is called Houston 20, and we're a coalition of women, not 20 women, much more, but women who want to come together to create awareness, to help the victims overcome the trauma, and to help save them from the situation. And the thing I was most surprised learning is oftentimes there is so much trauma and them being taken into these lives that they don't even acknowledge or know that they need to be saved. So it's we work with over 30 plus area nonprofits, from helping to stop the demand to teaching kids what the signs are and what grooming looks like. And we were talking before the show, it's this misunderstanding that it's only immigrants and people from lower socioeconomic backgrounds that are trafficked. We have seen the daughters of oil executives in Houston, people whose families are close-knit families, and girls who are cheerleaders, even getting other kids, boys that are on the football team, grooming kids to come in. One girl even had someone at church camp that started to groom her, and it's a long process. And on our website, fightforus.org, we give a lot of those signs. We're working with high school students to go that they can spread information. My daughter's really connected to that. And one of the greatest moments I shared with her last year was going to Austin, our state capital, and having these young girls who are in high school go talk to the lawmakers about that they're scared to go to the Galleria in Houston because they're afraid there's people trying to talk to them, offering them, buying them things, and grooming them to bring them into trafficking. So I think if we come together, not just as business owners, but as every part of the community to make a difference, we can truly change a community and make it safer and help overcome this huge, huge problem we have throughout the world.
It seems like it has just grown exponentially in the last couple of years, because you had always heard about it. But one, just hearing that there are groups like y'all, the Houston 20, Dallas 20, San Antonio, it's wonderful that people are getting more involved, but I had no idea how big it had gotten.
It's truly, it's shocking. And it's in Houston, one of the biggest challenges is that we have so many strip clubs. And I have to say that one of the things I'm most proud of our group doing was changing a law in the state of Texas. You had to be 21 to sell alcohol at a strip club, but you could be 19 years old and dance and take your clothes off. And those girls were too young and too vulnerable to being brought into trafficking. So we now changed the law to 21. So we hope that that just slows down the process, slows down who they can get to and how young. Because interestingly, the average age for a trafficked child is 14. And when you think about that, it's just sick.
Well, it is sick. And I thought they were just grabbed off the street. I didn't know anything about the grooming. I didn't know anything about that process. I just thought they were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Sometimes these kids can be groomed for as long as 2 years. And it can be, these people can go to parties and offer drugs and alcohol and feel like they're in the group. And this one young girl who was a cheerleader, she was supposed to be grounded and told her family she was going to work out at the gym, and instead she went to a party with a friend, and when she wanted to leave, her friend didn't leave. So she posted something on Snapchat, and someone she had met already at another party abducted her, and she was missing for 8 days until her family could find her, and they had to get militia involved to go save her. So it's it's shocking how relevant this is and how difficult this is. And so many people say that's not happening in my community and that wouldn't happen with my child. And I think the more we can talk about it and the more we can do, to pretend that it doesn't exist and sweep it under the rug doesn't change anything. And so I just really appreciate you giving me this platform to talk about it, because I think that's where change happens, in talking things through.
Well, yeah. Now, what motivates these kids to try to pull in a friend or someone that they know to this kind of life, this world? What do they get paid for that?
Interestingly, sadly, a lot of them are given luxury handbags. They're taken to bars or clubs that they couldn't get into otherwise. They're given things. And I don't know if you read about the Jeffrey Epstein case, but
yes.
Exactly. These girls would bring in other girls.
But they got paid handsomely.
They did. And so it can start as something that seems innocent and then grow into something. Again, it's over time. It's not transactional in the beginning. It might just be, oh, here's a Gucci bag, or I'm going to pay to get your nails done, or how about I give you a massage? It evolves. And I think that's the key thing, is to see what's safe and what's not, and to teach our kids what these signs are, so they know that, to be more aware.
And people need to know that. And you're doing us a great service by talking about that, because I'm learning a lot just listening to this. It's a whole lot more complicated, scarier, and underground than I ever wrote. Again, I just thought it was they were just grabbed off the street, had a bag put on their head and grabbed.
Yes, that is actually less common than these other situations I'm mentioning.
Oh.
Yeah, we actually had a survivor of trafficking, and what she shared was that her family was threatened. She was told that someone in her family would be killed or something would happen to them if she tried to get out.
You're kidding.
And that's another big part of it, I think, is the mental. And the interesting thing is a lot of these survivors, pimps per se, are acknowledged as though they were their boyfriends. So there are people that court them as if they're a boyfriend and take them out to nice dinners and then say, I need help. Could you pay off a debt I have? It's just this one time. And then it begins to evolve. So it's not a simple black and white. So when someone goes up to them, for example, I work with an organization called Texas Forensic Nurses. And oftentimes nurses are on the front line of these abused victims coming in for healthcare issues. And sometimes it might be a sexually transmitted disease. Sometimes it might be that they were beat up. So we're really trying to educate nurses and doctors in emergency rooms how to talk to these people, because it's not as though they have to run away and get away from it. It's this mindset that this person, it's like an abused woman staying with someone that hits her.
Right.
We think she needs to leave. but she's too scared to leave. So it is that I might hurt your family. We're sending money to your family, which maybe they're not. It's a lot of mental abuse.
Yes. Yeah. Oh gosh. That's very sobering, but that's good information to have.
It is. I'm just so proud of you and the work that you're doing and how many people you're bringing awareness to. And I learned some things from you as well today. So Zane and I are both more enriched from you being here.
Well, thank you again for giving me the platform. I can talk so much about it. It was interesting because my daughter, would roll her eyes at me and say, I know you think I'm going to be trafficked, Mom. And because I'd say when she was in middle school, I wouldn't let her go to someone's house unless I could call the mother. I wanted to make sure, because sometimes people have acted as guardians of kids, but have been traffickers and have allowed kids to go to their home. And so oftentimes the people extracting them or eventually taking them are people they've been around for a number of times. So they feel safe because they recognize their face. Again, it's this grooming process, because a drug dealer can sell a drug once, but a trafficker can sell a young girl or a young boy 10 times a day. Yeah. So what they're investing into, it's astonishing.
Yeah.
I have chills.
Well, know that we're making a difference and know that we're getting information. And I feel that if these young kids can come on board and they share with each other, and it's not an adult telling them, they take it a lot more seriously. Because I think when people peer-to-peer hear it, it's not preaching, it's them taking care of each other.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, great points. Well, ladies, we have come to the end of our segment for today, and I'm so glad that you're both here. The Vintage Contessa, we brought up both of your websites. What's the best way for people to reach out to you for either of these things, and who would you like to contact you?
I want anyone who would like to get involved with fighting sex trafficking to reach out to us through fightforus.org. Or you could certainly send me a direct message on Instagram. We're checking there every day. Follow us on Instagram. It's a great way to see our stories, hear about our journeys. And I do share often about the community outreach that we're doing and the things that we're bringing up. And you can send us an email about our store and call us to set an appointment if you're in Houston. And then if you're not in Houston, we can also do a remote video appointment. We can take people around the showroom and have them feel like they're there in person.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed meeting you, and I hope you'll come back and join us on some of our other programs.
Thank you so much. I would really look forward to this. What a great opportunity.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Zane, thank you so much for bringing the Vintage Contessa here to the show today. I really appreciate it. I've learned so much from her, and she's a beautiful soul. I just really like her lightness, her energy, and her commitment to an authentic world. Zane, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, and who would you like to contact you?
Oh, well, anybody who is interested in children's books, or I'm happy to go to schools and read, or to be your speaker if you need something. But it's my website is zanecarruth.com, and there's a link on there that you can contact me. But zanecarruth.com, and I'm happy to write an article for etiquette. That's where I really excel.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Zane. Okay, everyone, we are really glad that you joined us today, and you can find our show. This show is available on the first Thursday of each month at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is 9 p.m. British Summer Time. So we do have a global audience, so please do go and look up what time zone that is for you, and do join us again. Last words from you, Zane, before we close out. What would you like to say to our audience?
Well, thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again next month. We're going to have another fun and exciting guest, and it's been great. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Please subscribe to our channel on YouTube, USA Global TV and Radio. And we are live streaming to 8 destinations at the same time. So you'll be able to find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and we have 2 YouTube channels. Bye for now. See you later.
Bye.